Yeah.
Namaste everyone. Welcome to my channel Yoga with Preeti and Beyond. I have a very special guest Shaku Nitturkar. She's actually a very long time friend. बहुत पुरानी friend है मेरी. So welcome Shaku.
Thank you, Preeti.
Yeah.
It is my pleasure and honor to be here with Preeti on Yoga with Preeti and Beyond. So very happy to be here.
And I thought that bringing her into my community and onto my platform is actually very valuable. Like personally, I have grown so much learning from her as we grew here, like almost over 20 years in America for me. So I felt that this is actually a good way to learn about her journey and learn from her experience and get some tidbits or like some of her knowledge. Do you wanted to share your journey in America? Like some background will be helpful.
Sure. No problem. So little bit of my personal journey at the same time, little bit of a background. Full name Shakuntala Nitturkar. People call me Shaku Nitturkar for short. I arrived in United States almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
And it was a very shocking cultural experience for me. But in either ways, I think most of us actually go through that coming from India, brand new. I did my education here. I did my undergrad in electrical engineering. That in itself was my journey also, as I had my baby along with me. But having said that, it has been quite a very organic and a very good professional journey for me, based from various backgrounds, military, NASA, to medical devices at the last juncture of my career right now. Having said that, I think I have learned a lot, as Preeti told you, along with her, as my colleague and as my very best friend. It has been a very personal growth and a very nice journey for me. So
So
that's a little bit of professional and a personal background. I have 3 children.
oh yeah. She is like her hands are full, but I mean in a career I've seen her. She's always like on in the forefront as well. So it's like over 20 years or 25 years in career here in America now.
Yes, so I started almost 28 years ago. Yes.
28 years, yeah. So that's a bit really just to see, right? Like as a woman, when you start your life here, you have your babies, you also studied here, and I know for sure studying here is so different than
Correct.
America. So do you want to share something about that or
Um, Mostly it's a nice journey, as you're learning to be a student here, at the same time trying to find your calling to what you actually want to do, as a person, as a professional. So to me it was a really eye-opening understanding of my technical experience, going to college here. It was actually really heartwarming to kind of associate with industry leaders, industry experts, while I'm learning, getting my education.
yeah, I think that is really important for all of us to understand, like the way the whole education system here and how you apply things. I mean, it is a little bit of overwhelming journey for the engineering people have done back in India. So, and we also know that like you were really she was in Alcon medical device company, being an R&D head and all, and then she had some pivot. So she kind of completely has pivot her career. So I thought that it'll be great to bring her here for women who are thinking through having a big pivot in their life. Maybe her journey will inspire them. So was there any particular moment or turning point you felt that you wanted to come from those 8 to 5 jobs and come to an entrepreneurial side of the things?
To be honest, it wasn't very organic for me. It was very how do I say, forced in. I wouldn't use the word forced, but it was not organic. it was more a health driven decision for me in terms of at a certain point in the career you kind of want to understand what is more important in your life, what is your priority. Is that you want a corporate growth life, or do you want to have a healthy life? I'm not saying that you cannot have both. People have done it both, and I have plenty of examples in that area, but in my case I had to make that choice, a personal choice based off of my health. So, pivoting from a more 9 to 5 work versus getting into an entrepreneurial journey, partially I would actually credit my husband for encouraging and supporting me in that. And the other aspect was obviously my health. So, I needed to kind of do an introspection to understand what really mattered to me.
Yeah, and you do definitely need a support system like that, right? Like, because when you are in a dilemma side, you're already thinking through so many different aspects, and having your husband's support and your community support actually helps. And I know for sure when actually she really quit her like very high profile job and started to do some entrepreneurial thing, we all started thinking that, oh, when is our turn? Like sometimes, to be honest, right, when we are in our career, it is really 8 to 5, constant juggling of so many things, and we all want some of the time for us. So I feel that it kind of is inspiring too, right? Like, hey, you pivot and then you are doing so many other things because you were so accomplished in your career. And now that I knew for sure when we see Shaku today, she will be doing 100 other things. We know that, right? She can't sit at home. So that's really inspiring to see you, so many initiatives you have taken, you know. So, did you feel scared, uncertain while letting go of the familiar? Because, like, you have such a 28 years of career, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to be starting over and doing something completely different. I mean, did you have some sort of apprehensions or fear?
I would more call it a little bit of, I wouldn't call it fear, but definitely a set of a lone wolf, a loneliness kind of a thing, because you're so used to your consistent, how do I
Mm,
say, a consistent path, right? You're used to having a set project, a set goal, a set understanding, a set communication pattern, a line of control, that you actually don't have that. You had even though we say we don't have a demarcation between home and work, but it wasn't that clean. So, yes, it wasn't easy, although I was focusing on health. But once my health got steady, it became more apparent for me that my identity became apparent that, oh, is that my 9 to 5 job identity, or who am I? What am I trying to accomplish now? So, definitely not scared, but definitely that lonely identity was, it was a void, I would say, more than anything else, like a vacuum.
yeah, but I think that that's a very good point, because from a career perspective, we kind of associate our identity with the career or the accomplishment we have done in our career, that okay, this
Right.
is what we have done. But there's so many other aspects of your life where you are making impact, but I don't know why we are not associating that as an like being part of your identity, I mean,
You're right. So, it takes a while to have that introspection to understand that impact, right? You're very much geared or skewed, your thought process is skewed towards your professional identity. In Not in most cases, but people who are holding a very high profile corporate work in an executive environment. So, that's I wouldn't say that's not normal, but most of them have that. As you grow, leaders go higher and higher in C-suite, then it becomes a little different, because you have a different level of impact. Until then, I think you're still trying to define yourself.
yeah,
That's why
yeah, yeah.
you have that void.
Yeah, yeah, I see that too, right? Like, even mm, being in career for 20 plus years, I feel that, hey, I associate I mean, your accomplishment are associated with your career things, right? So, like as you were mentioning about some of the health issue has also were the trigger for you to kind of do this big pivot, coming from very high profile career jobs to the entrepreneur. So, like your yoga, meditation, or any wellness practice part of your journey during this big transition. I know that like it's been a lot. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I think that helped a lot. Being consistent in my daily routine and including yoga as part of my routine helped me a lot in that transition phase, or I should say, I'm still in the transition phase. I wouldn't say it's complete, but definitely having what you call in our Sanskrit word dincharya. It's a consistent dincharya
Right, right, a routine.
that,
Yeah.
yes, it's a routine where you include yoga as part of your daily routine. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to do Monday through Friday and I have a break from extra. It's not that. It is as if you are drinking and eating. That is part of your routine. So yes, it did help me a lot, including yoga as part of my daily routine.
So like so yoga has like two aspects, right? Like your breathing pranayam aspects, and then you have your asanas. So like are you saying that you had to do both? And
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So
Okay.
when I say yoga, to most people in the Western world, it is exercise. But there are four kinds of yogs, and this particular yoga is mind, body, and soul, where you actually are connecting with your soul, your prana, which is the pranayam, with your asanas, which is your
Mm.
body. So, yes, yoga that I do is mindful pranayam, meditation, and a whole body connection.
And I feel that like now that we are at a journey of where we are all 40 plus of us women, I feel that exercise only is not enough. You need to have the meditation as part of it, and the introspection you were talking about, right? That when you were like kind of introspecting what is my identity and other things. And I think that doing those meditation and those the breathing might have helped you go within yourself, right? Like within you deeper to figure that out.
And if you actually look around you, most of the leadership in professional environment and or in a social environment who are yogis, who actually give you your life lessons and how you're
Mm,
doing,
mm.
they both say the same thing, right? You start with your self development, self growth. Look into yourself, look into your strength, whether it is Yogananda or whether it is Marshall Goldschmidt and Peter Drucker, for instance, they managing yourself or what you want to become, and Marshall Goldsmith said, right? So you need to change. If you want to change yourself, grow, that is one thing, is look into yourself and see what your strength is. That's introspection.
Yeah, yeah, and that's actually very, very deep point you just said. Look within, right? I
Yes.
feel that this is one of the eye opener for me as I mean, going through my own yoga journey. Like for all the career women, I would say that, hey, I got one award, oh, I got this recognition, and I feel so good. But if it's not there, you're feeling like, oh, I'm not doing anything. The one you just said, look within for seeing those your identity and get satisfaction from there instead of looking for the validation from outside. So like I know for sure, like lot of women who are in the career between 40s and 50s, who are feeling stuck or unfulfilled in their careers, right? Like sometimes we are doing these jobs because we have to pay the bills, right? So like what do you want to give advice to women who want to kind of like do a shift, and
It won't be any different than what I try to do myself. But one thing I would like to make sure, if you feel stuck and if you think that you don't have a growth, which happened with me a couple of times in my career, not once but twice, right? Uh, what you have to do is, again, you have to focus on yourself. You have to find what is your strength. That's the key to your self growth and development. Most of career women out there who feel stuck already are trying to be up speed to the technology they're into, or up speed to the marketplace. They're already learning, so they feel like, how much more do I do this, right? It's not that. It's more about trying to understand your strength rather than your weakness, and work on that. Write down your goal on a piece of a paper and focus on that only. So, and the most important part is network outside of your current comfortable environment. I did do that, but I did it little very late in my career. Had somebody told me, had mentored me saying, go network 15 years ago, it would have been a little different for me. I wouldn't say a lot, but it would be different. So for those who are actually trying to grow, please network, and find a mentor. You also become a mentee. That will help you grow, at the same time help others grow. So mentor and mentee are key aspects if you feel stuck, and at the same time try to network as much as you can. Network. That's all I'll say.
No, that's very good point. So like internally within the company, you should network, and also externally too.
Outside, yes, it's very important to network outside. I was very good networking within the company, but I was learning to network outside as I became the face of the company, working outside with a lot of external stakeholders, right? So that's when I knew, oh, this is completely different.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because sometimes what happens, like being women, right? Like we feel stuck because we are trying to juggle our home and career, but then we are saying that, oh, how do we grow in our career? So this is good. Like network outside your company, in your domain where you have expertise on. Have a mentor, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think that is actually very helpful. And I remember that even for me, I mean, I struggled a bit for that, but I think that having different network within the company and trying to grow that also helps, right? You never know who can be your,
Correct.
yeah, you never know who you will meet.
And it doesn't have to be somebody you know. You can reach out to people that influence you and say, hey, I want you to be my mentor. I did that. I mean, it was nothing in my technical area, nothing. I said, I want you to be my mentor. Can you be my mentor? So it's as easy. People are there to help you. Ask for help.
And one thing also I wanted to say to my audience too, like people, women who are in their career in 40s and 50s, that they love if you reach out to them.
Yes.
They love it. They're like, hey, I want to get your feedback on this and that. I have seen that.
Correct.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's their job. I mean, why would a VP will give me time to talk? Oh, he's like, oh, you can just come over for lunch. I'm like, okay, what is this?
Yes.
So it's great to know, because sometimes what happens is like we coming from India and trying to settle down, we kind of forget those things, and we all are very competitive, right? Like we want to do good, right? It's not that we will do our half-hearted jobs and just kind of so we want to do that. So this is really, really good piece of advice, Shaku. I thank you for that. And some of the things, like I know, at least from my my career too, right? A little bit of transition has happened from technical to doing into the product management side and stuff. But do you have any advice where people, because of a lot of health things like perimenopause, menopause, women start to question, should I change paths now? Is it too risky to do it while I'm going through some up and down in my health? What do you recommend to them?
It all starts again with, you have to put a piece of paper. Sometimes you don't have that advantage, like you're saying, you actually are part of the financial setup where you have to earn, right? But in either case, if you do want to move, and if you do want to switch over, and make sure you're comfortable in organizing the thought process and understanding if that actually is a good fit for you. It it boils down to the same thing in terms of your strength.
Hmm.
There is nothing stopping you from moving from one point of the business to another point. You just have to understand if that's the leap you're ready to take, and it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to not know everything at the first time. So sometimes it's overwhelming. You just need, like I always talk to Preeti and I always ask her input in when I am self-doubt. I have a lot of other questions. She's very good at providing me a very ground to earth, grounding information, saying you need to first help yourself. So, from that aspect, I think that nothing's stopping you, but don't be as crazy as, oh, I want to leap from not knowing anything from computers to leaping into a computer tech world. It's not that you cannot do it. You have to be methodical about it. Or the other way, you're actually completely technical and you want to go over the business side. You definitely can go it. You just need to understand the business and learn that aspect. It takes time, focus, and your personal development energy.
I like what you said. Okay, it's okay to fail too, right? But you should try, right? Like because
Correct.
sometimes what like we kind of gets into our comfort zone, like oh, okay, abhi theek se chal raha hai, why to shuffle those equation because house will get suffer because if the mom is doing something. But like this is good advice because like we as a human being want to feel good about our careers too, right? So very interesting one. I want to know when, if you wanted to go back, talk to your 40-year-old Shaku, right? What would you say? What would you say now to her?
Um, I would actually say that sit down with yourself more, and understand what you really need versus what you really want. And at the same time, network.
Okay.
So I would actually say that I needed to sit with little bit more focused knowledge and not have a self-doubt about that growth. So no self-doubt, trust yourself, spend time with yourself, and learn
Hmm.
to focus on that development.
So that's like kind of going into very good advice actually. Let's going into the one you were just saying, look within.
Right.
Right, so you're kind of saying that if I have started doing some meditation or those yoga breathing techniques, you were actually already doing it at that time, but like doing and looking into the perspective of who am I,
You do
you know?
need validation from
Yeah,
your peers. It's not
exactly.
like you don't need it. That's completely acceptable because that's how you actually get rewarded, right? So you need to have that. But what I didn't do, and I would recommend everybody does it, is reward yourself for small successes. Reward yourself.
Mm,
Have a goal that is more true, accepted, and gives you joy, and at the same time reward. They are four-step process, right? So reward yourself when you actually achieve something. Celebrate yourself. That's
mm.
very, very important.
So that's good, right? Like, don't wait for other people to come to see, hey, you did a good job. Just like enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
and then have that validation with your peers, your friends, and help them understand here's what you're doing. And they validate it very much because they themselves are going through that and they appreciate that.
So that's good. I mean, information is actually very valuable to my community, my yoga fellows here, because I feel that at least from a woman perspective, I can speak. I mean, I don't know from a man perspective, but like, hey, doing meditation in self introspection is very important. Like, but I know for sure I never did it, right? So
Right.
and somehow when I got into my mid 40s and now feeling that okay, I think it's time to look within. But yeah, it's good to do this even before that. So this is a great piece of advice, my viewers, like my younger women community who are in their 30s, early 30s, and early 40s, that You know, do your self introspection, spend time with yourself. You don't have to be obligated to spend time with everyone. Just first, you are the priority, right?
Learn to love yourself and learn to learn from it. And you grow with your community that you are part of. So get input from them, but that doesn't mean um, you stop that self development process.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Preeti.
Shaku,
You have
for
been a wonderful friend and a wonderful. I would say she has been my spiritual mentor.
she's
A
just saying like
lot.
that.
No, I wouldn't say that, but she has helped me a lot in that self introspection, and I am in that transition journey, and I really thank her for that. Thank you so much for bringing me on with your audience. I appreciate it.
Know that we have another session with her coming for women who are dealing with perimenopause, menopause, and stuff. With which this topic is also very close to my heart these days because you know I'm also in my mid 40s, going through all those heck things. So I definitely want you to come back again, Shaku, to talk about those things.
We'll be happy to do that.
Thank you so much. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.